That add-on should spruce this place up a bit. Should be plenty of organic materials to harvest from this world.
If you are a victim of
scanned as you enter the city.
constellation has suffered losses before, although none quite so violently.
We all feel like we've been kicked into the ground a million times over, but I think I have something. I'm serious. If I may, I know our encounter with the Hunter is the last unity. Exactly. The thing is, I've heard that word before.
The priest? Is the Sanctum Universum going to blip?
It can't be a coincidence. The Sanctum has always believed that answers are out there. Look, I know it's the longest of shots and the biggest leap of faith I could ever ask us all to take, but why not talk to him?
There's no harm in gathering more information. A visit to the Sanctum.
Thank you. I know it's not much to go on, but I'll meet you over there.
I need to inventory all our equipment and other odds and ends for damage.
Everyone seems more distant in the lodge. I guess that is to be expected.
Morale in the lodge has been measurably reduced.
Ron Hope was a real piece. Despicable is... He held innocent people with little regard, treating their lives like... I'm relieved. What I don't understand is why... Don't you dare give me a needs of the many. By hiring those mercenaries to do his dirty work, Ron Hope unleashed hell on those Those poor farmers deserve much more of an apology than... Well, I feel as though I've berated you enough. You seem to have learned your lesson. We should have a talk. When you have the time, of course. Sorry to pull you aside like this, but taking those steps to eradicate the Terramorph threat is essential to the safety. Yes, exactly. I'm glad you treated the situation. I only wish that the United Colonies chose to exterminate the Terramorphs with the experimental microbe, instead of choosing this ridiculous Asili solution. Apparently, their decision was based on your recommendation. I beg to differ with you. Deploying the Asili solution is going to take years. Perhaps... Unfortunately, there's no use dwelling on the past. You need to live with it. Thankfully, the eradication of the Lazarus plant gives the Asilis a bit more time to do their job. You haven't let me down. You've simply given me cause for I'll tell you what. Let's put this past us, shall we?
By the way, Captain, Sergeant Yumi was looking for you. Sounds like he's got more work.
The ancient teachers of this science, said he, promised impossibilities and performed nothing.
private sector. So that's where the...
Maybe we should stop for a moment at the memorial. You know, to pay our respects.
Keeper Aquilus, can we?
Oh, Mateo. It's been too long. How are your parents?
No, she figured that out a while ago. Had to adjust the pH levels in the soil.
Oh. Well, what? Oh. Yeah. How humanity comes together,
That's not exact. Keeper, when you talk about unity, well,
Perhaps we should talk about this. Now that we have a little privacy, why don't you...
Seriously, Keeper, they bathe whoever reaches the center in a...
So you're saying you found a place? There have always been mysteries that seem to defy our understanding. We enter life as an act of someone else's faith in us. There's no way of knowing. So you've pushed into the unknown, not knowing where... I think I can. If you're willing to find your way in the dark for a bit longer. There's an old story, far older than the Sanctum Universum. This pilgrim claimed he found the true meaning of unity. I always thought of it... I'm not sure if he was, but in my story, the pilgrim met the founders of the House of Enlightenment and the enigmatic cult of the Varun. And he gave them each a part of... Then he goes to his final resting place to live out the rest of his days in But what if the story isn't a metaphor? I agree. I think you need to talk to them about this. Because I wasn't looking to find unity in the same sense you are. The enlightened work out of the well here in New Atlantis. The rune worshippers are more enigmatic. But there is a I visited her a couple of times.
I'll stay here with the Keeper. We need to catch up. And I wouldn't mind asking him a few more questions.
Hey there. Glad to see you again. Of course you can. My heart melts when you say those things to me. Yes, have a look.
I'm pleased to report that our stocks are currently being maintained at 90% or higher. I'm sure we have... Welcome to UC Distribution. Oh, well, sir. Back to it then.
If I can help you with anything, if you have any gear... I've flown across most of the settled systems in all manners of spacecraft, and yet I still get sick on the gnat. Oh, I've always liked that statue. It's beautiful, isn't it? I wonder what the artist was trying to represent. Security scanners, chemical sniffers. The United Colonies sure isn't taking any chances. If you need something, I'd be happy to.
I think I got them, what do you call them? What? Yeah, I got corns.
A visitor? He knows not the truth. He sends it.
Perhaps you should hear us out before you decide.
The Great Serpent waits in the shadows. He will entwine. That is the...
Anything you could tell us would be...
Yes, I have spoken to your keeper about this. Jinan Varun meets the unbeliever. He gives false prophecy to Jinan. But the unbeliever returns. Jinan realizes the Great Serpent is testing him, and he will... Remember these 4 battles, Jinan, the unbeliever says. Remember these 1... That is all. I have heard of no such thing. If it exists, strength and conviction show your worthiness to the Great Serpent. The kill is not as important as showing there is...
Ah, if it isn't. Crime has slowed down since you started helping out, which is good for morale. The whole department is in the process of recovering, myself included. Things can be replaced and wounds can be healed, but building back that trust... Luckily, we've built a good culture here, and we hired some new recruits who are inspired. I do. Thanks to you, the spaceport is... We've received a tip that someone has been bringing in contraband into New Atlantis. Well, technology-wise, criminals have always been ones. Smugglers often have a fancy shielding, but luckily, we can still use... Great. First, speak to one of... Ask them if they've noticed. Once you've gotten a lead, cross-reference their testimony. When you're done, remember that job you did for Agent Plato? I finally had a reason. I asked him to pull the names and cargo of every potential smuggling ship that docked. He said he'll have a slate ready for you to examine. There should be a few working on the landing pads. If they don't... Right now, we don't have any good leads. But if anyone's seen... See you later.
I have something I need to discuss with you. Back, eh? How's it going? Look, the fact that you risked your life to save me, then I'll say it again. My only wish is that my rescue hadn't come with ease. He was one of my closest colleagues, and a cherished friend. I really wish I could believe that. Our charter at Constellation has always been to analyze the unknown. Yet all the while, I've been cavalier about taking risks and pushing the boundaries. Had I not pushed so hard to pursue... Of course I can. Damn it! Why is this happening? We're explorers. Our curiosity pushes us to seek. Yet in return, this is what the universe throws at us. No, I refuse to allow Sam. The question is, where do we stop exploring? Stop pushing the boundaries? I suppose you're right. Well, I suppose that's all I had on my mind for now. I'm sorry I got so angry. But I assure you... Thank you. Hearing you say that makes me feel a lot less... Well, we have a long road ahead of us. We don't mean to be intrusive. Any information...
If it's about the financial or food assistance programs, we are back. Oh, we're not.
We don't mean to be intrusive. Any information you could provide would be very useful.
Listen, I've talked about this with him a ton of times, and there's no record of a Unity pilgrim, but our early records are mostly administrative. Humanitarian projects, group counseling notes, charity expenditures. But there is a series of exchanges the founding members recorded in a lot of detail. A man walks into the first House of Enlightenment. The founding members just call him the Drift. So they think he's a charity case at first, but no, the Drifter, if your philosophy is built on an individual's own morality, what about the second person? That second person, and the founders respond, each individual must understand how the second person lifts them up. All of human effort is, and it kind of goes on like that. He comes back every week for a year, same conversation every time. Honestly, I think the founding members made it all up. There was a little more hesitation being openly atheist in the early days. Fortunately, that got abandoned pretty quick. After the records of the... Besides what the Keeper would say about it? Sounds like a gap. Or, in mathematics, it would mean 1, like... Sorry, I couldn't be of more help, but that's about all I've got.
I'm gonna be a big-time space pilot someday. Gonna have my own ship, my own crew, my own corporate sponsor.
Hey, no funny stuff with that boost pack.
Oh, you're back. What did you... planets are often named by number. What else did you learn? If there really is a location the Pilgrim wanted us to find, was there anything else? Yes. What he added to infinity. Maybe that points to a name. If we're looking for his resting place, let's see. We have something that could be coordinates. Something that could point to an infinitum addendum. What if we break down the parts? No systems named finite or add. That just leaves in and dumb. Well, that's certainly how it... Yes, that's it. The second planet in Indum, at 4 and 120. And from there, before you go, you've now spoken to many different perspectives. I know you're looking for a specific unity. Ah, but what makes something like that holy? Gravity is also a force. And so you think this word unity describes a similar miracle?
With all due respect, gravity is no miracle. There are solid scientific...
Well, I won't keep you any longer.
Don't rush the scan. Wouldn't want to overlook anything valuable. Let's do this. Well, that's that. All this. Whoever lived at this homestead seemed to have settled in for the long haul. placed here for some sort of specific purpose rather than as an artistic statement. There's got to be something useful out here.
I made the right choice in letting you go. You did. Now it's all starting to make sense. You should come aboard.
I can speak for myself. Constellation ship, you weren't invited to this meeting, but much of our conversation has been about you. I will personally guarantee your safety.
And think of it as a ceasefire meeting. Your one Let's just say they're very dedicated to stopping me from getting the artifacts. So if you don't trust me...
I know your encounters with our kind have not been pleasant, but we are here.
Not a bad description, actually.
We'll explain when...
Good. See? We can all... Hello. Again. Do you remember the emissary, perhaps? And their ship, the Helix? I believe they ambushed you above Neon and demanded that artifact.
Thank you for the stellar introduction. Your success is unprecedented. Before you came, we were just discussing how continued use of force against you is unwise.
I don't think your patient counselor act is working on them.
We are not a monolithic people. The Starborn are individuals. Some are united in cause.
We are all in it for ourselves. The emissary threatened your ship, demanded you hand over your artifact.
We needed to warn you off. Every encounter with one of our kind.
For whom, exactly? I say whoever can collect them should. And who gets to say that? I have debated morality for near infinity, and all rules and laws spoken as principles.
Enough. We have the unity. You are on the path to it. It is a place, a gateway. It is where we...
So, I gotta say, this part is more awkward than I thought. Hiding my face was way easier. I'm not who you think I am. This universe is only the first one you've been to. Where I came from, I was the one who ran to the Eye. I left you behind to protect the artifacts. And the Hunter killed you. One of me, at least. I collected the remaining artifacts, and they opened the way to the center of my universe. And that is the Unity. When I stepped into it, They are all connected. I have to. All the artifacts are needed to complete the armillary and open the way to the Unity. You've witnessed the power granted by the temples. The anarchy. Here it comes. The emissary tells you. You're twisting what I mean.
They're hypocrites. They use the chaos caused by the hunt for the artifacts to establish an order where they decide. I attacked your lodge because I wanted the artifact. That wasn't some morality play. You didn't survive because of righteousness, as I have done.
I was also human once. But what does it matter who or what I was when eternity is within your grasp? You're learning. My other self wants you to walk the path he walks. To give up. To appreciate. Easy for a person who's seen everything, done everything.
You've never come this far. Not in all the universes I've seen. The path to the Unity. You're going to tip the scales one way or another. Bingo. I want a truce. Between all three of us. I will give you some time. Yes. Let's see how willing you are to live under someone else's rules. Just remember, one of us isn't trying to judge you. I'll tell you everything I can. The emissary and their kind only want to control you. You might think the emissary is on your side, but your persistence is what forced them to tell you the truth. They enter the Unity, take artifacts from others, employ. I am many things, but I would never tell anyone what to do with their gift. The emissary wants to become the judge. To see what would happen, of course. You might... Usually, you're the one who ends up dead, and whoever cries over... Sometimes I manage to get you all bunched up and take care of the problem in one go. And sometimes the emissary. Hundreds and hundreds of variations of me. Packing through Constellation. And it's almost never you. I took it as a sign. I've simply found that it's the quickest way. Talking, forming alliances. I'll admit, you getting away has been the most interesting thing. As soon as I realized what had happened, I knew I needed to wait until... No, we always end up having this meeting. Honestly, I was beginning to wonder why I kept attending. And it's a bad habit I started a long time. But you have provided something quite new to talk about. Maybe you're a random die roll. Or maybe the Unity is finally responding to all my hard work. Whoever created the artifacts and built those temples is playing a game with us. One whose prize is access to the center of all creation. There are no rules. Whoever gets all... I don't kill for the Unity. I know we're not the same people we met in our universes. Still, it's good to see you again, old friend. When all the artifacts are assembled, the device they create is called the Armillary. In many ways, it's a model of the multi. Through it, you can reach the Unity. You've seen the terror the Hunter causes. Every time a Starborn goes through the Unity, they get more artifacts, find more... We can't let more like him abuse these gifts to destroy whatever's in their way. Different. I never know who you are when I meet a new version.
It's hard, but each universe is precious in its own way. Mine will never have its original you in it again. It is not an easy experience to describe. You will be leaving this universe behind to be Maybe that's why it offers the choice.